What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fan, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building with another video. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it, man. Definitely hit that like and subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Definitely go on ahead and follow me on Twitter at SwiftD. That's right, it's right there. And follow me on IG at 49er_Dion. So definitely make sure you subscribe to everything and keep things rolling. And then at the same time, I'm going to drop that down there. If you guys are gracious enough to be able to donate to the channel, that's how you do it. Patreon.com/Niner Game Podcast to support the channel. If you would like to, it's not a demand. It's just a ask if you can, just to continue to help increase the channel, help with any type of giveaways and things of that nature that I'm going to do. But I appreciate any and everybody for stopping by and hanging out with your boy as I let you guys know about the 49ers and the news that happened. So we'll start off with the biggest news of all. And I know everybody's kind of like, yo, Dion didn't even go live for that, man. Like, what happened? Here's the thing. When Christian McCaffrey got traded to the San Francisco 49ers for a second, third, and fourth round picks in 2023 and a fifth round pick in 2024, I wanted to go live, but I knew that it was so saturated with so many people that it was like almost pointless to do so, because you're trying to suck up the attention. You're trying to give that out and you want to have, more views, things of that nature. But I figured, you know what? I'm going to let it simmer. We'll go ahead and talk about it afterwards. And the crazy thing is I was live right before it happened. I pretty much was. I was chilling, hanging out with the Forever Faithful podcast, doing their thing. And next thing you know, right after we decided to shut the show down because we were about an hour in, the news broke. So it's all good. It doesn't make a difference. He is here. Christian McCaffrey is here. He did get to the team. He traveled on Friday. He passed his physical. He has already started to get hold of the playbook. He's working with everybody on the team to understand the calls and what they do and don't mean. His status for the game on Sunday is up in the air. A lot of people would like to see him play. They want him to be there. They want him to do all those things. And I get it. You do. You want Christian McCaffrey to be out there on the field. You want to utilize that brand new weapon that you got. I know that it's probably a situation for all the fans where they're like, man, we got CMC. And I was saying this a while back, like if they're going to trade for anybody or trade for a running back, that Christian McCaffrey would be great in this system. And I do believe he would be great. We've got at least, I believe, 3 more years left on his contract after this year. We only owe him about $650,000 this year. So that's nothing. It's real easy to squeeze into the cap. Giving up the draft capital, I know some people liked it, some people didn't. Here's how I feel about that. We don't really draft that well in the second, third, and fourth round any damn way. So those picks don't even make a difference. I figure we still have a nice amount of picks. I believe we still have 7 in total. And then at the same time, we make our money in the later rounds, in the 5th and 6th and 7th rounds. That's where we find the gems, especially the 5th round. John Lynch is really good there. Hell, if he decided to trade all his picks every year just to stay in the 5th round and take over that, I'd be fine, because he seems to find gems there. We found George Kittle there. We found Talanoa Hufanga there. Like, all of these people that we find in the 5th round are great players, and they seem to work out well for us. So while I understand the trepidation in trading the picks, still, believe me, it's definitely well worth it, man. Christian McCaffrey, and I know they wanted more than that. They wanted like 2 first-round picks, and probably a lot bigger haul. But at the end of the day, the Carolina Panthers right now are selling everything. Robbie Anderson got benched by Steve Wilks, actually got sent to the locker room by Steve Wilks, and next day he was traded to the Arizona Cardinals. And then CMC, he knew he was on the trade block, but he was just focusing on the game. And then he wound up coming to us with the 49ers. We know the Rams were in the mix to go ahead and get CMC. But, hey, man, when you trade away all your goddamn picks, and you don't have any picks to really give, you're not going to be very enticing when it comes down to it. So the Carolina Panthers did state that they felt what they got was the equivalent of 2 first-round picks. And I know there's a system on the picks and how you package them and what they kind of look like and turn into and money, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to get into all that because I'm not very familiar with it, but at the end of the day, they feel they still got fair compensation for Christian McCaffrey. We definitely got fair compensation. The next couple of years on his contract are around about $12 million at a minimum. So we should be fine with that. And I definitely do believe there's probably going to be a restructure here in the future to be able to make sure we fit everybody into the cap. The other thing about Christian McCaffrey is in the last 2 years, he's missed 23 games. So that's not a good thing for him going from, Carolina to coming here to the most injured team in the league. So it kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, we should still be fine. Hopefully we can keep him healthy. We don't have any worries or any problems with him being on the field. And I mean, this pushes our backfield into a different stratosphere. I do believe Elijah Mitchell is slated to come back here in the next couple of weeks. So you got to think about that, man. A 1-2 punch with CMC and Elijah Mitchell. We can keep both of those dudes healthy. We've got a guy who can hit the home runs. We've got 2 guys who can catch the ball out of the backfield. Like, this gives us a really big boost to our backfield, and it gives us a really big boost to that dual threat running back that Kyle so loves. So at the end of the day, it was a great move. Love it. Christian McCaffrey he's definitely lobbying to play on Sunday. But, I mean, hey, if he doesn't have the language down, I don't want him out there getting confused. And if he doesn't play, people be patient. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to always get guys out there on the field immediately. I know when we did it with Emmanuel Sanders was on the field that same weekend. So it's a situation for us where we must be patient. We have to allow him to learn the system and understand it. We know he's going to be great in it, but Kyle Shanahan's system is very complex and it is very intricate. So I did go ahead and jump on to IG Live with my buddy 49er Media and a couple of other people, man, and went back and forth about it with the guy as far as feeling like Kyle Shanahan is a little predictable, and he gave me his reasons, and I understood that. But for me, the situation is it's when Jimmy becomes predictable, Kyle becomes predictable. And though you may have people open all over the field on every single play and he always keeps somebody open, do you have the time to find that guy? And then at the same time, are you capable of looking for that specific person? Are you capable of going through all of your reads, coming back to that first read and, making sure that you make the right throws? We all know what Jimmy does. He throws over the middle. He's shit when he throws beyond 15 yards. And that's just what we deal with every week as Niner fans. We understand it. We know it. We just roll with it, man, because it's all we got. Trey Lance is injured for the rest of the year. I definitely don't think you just turn around and throw Brock Purdy into the fire and think he's going to just change everything and make everything better. So we just have to deal with what we have to deal with and go through, run with the program. So to be honest, it's a crazy situation, getting CMC, and we appreciate the fact that he is here. Hey, what's going on, JR Meadows? Super Bowl 54 coming, Niners gang, let's go. I mean, hey, you know what, man? If CMC could come in here and help this run game and we can continue to do the things that we need to do to win games, that is definitely going to be a blessing. And I know that the 49ers are in win now mode, man. They don't want to take a chance on having to get there and not be able to do anything. They want to make the playoffs. They're looking to keep it pushing. Right now, we're currently 3-3, top of our league, top of our division. And, that's all we can really ask for, man. So after this game versus the Chiefs, we got to play the Chargers, and then we got to play I believe we play the Rams and then the Chargers. But either way, we just got to do what we got to do, man. So David McNew says Jimmy G just has to do one job, not screw it up. Yeah, and the crazy thing is when people, protect Jimmy Garoppolo and defend him and laud him for what he does, I always tell people, y'all obviously don't watch 49er games. Y'all don't know the stress that we go through week in and week out. And literally, every person on every team every fan of every team would love to have a quarterback where they can say, my quarterback's going to win. If we get down, he's going to bring us back. That doesn't happen with Jimmy Garoppolo. And the next thing is, we know at some point he's probably going to fuck it up. So we just ask that he doesn't fuck it up. We hope and pray that he doesn't throw that interception at the most inopportune time. We hope and pray that he doesn't screw up, the wrong pass or overthrow a deep ball. We hope and pray that he just manages the game and doesn't, make mistakes. And that's sad when you have to do that as a fan, because you know that your quarterback is extremely limited. So when people that come from other fan bases, other franchises, or they're just regular fans in general of the NFL, and they try to say, well, all he does is win, we look at them like they're crazy, because we're very passionate fans. And the first thing we tell you is, you obviously don't watch our games because you don't know shit. I tell people all the time, he should be 0-6 in the playoffs, not 4-2 with the with his stats that he has. Like, anybody looking at those stats would notice why a guy should not have a winning record in the playoffs. But I digress. He said, J.R. Meadows says Brock arm is way better. So I don't know about all that. It's just a situation where we got to deal with what we got to deal with now. So the other thing that I was going to say really quick before I jump into the Chiefs and 49ers game is, it literally makes the situation is it makes things a little bit harder for every running back in the room. And you got to think about it. Your Marlon Mack, Ty Davis-Price, Jordan Mason, even Jeff Wilson Jr. You see those guys get pushed down the depth chart a little bit. Why? Because Christian McCaffrey is here. Once he gets a hold of the system, he's not letting it go. And when Elijah Mitchell is healthy, Kyle's going to go back to him. He relies on him. And a lot of people were not necessarily very happy with the fact that I said Kyle has people that he likes. He has his favorites, and he does. It's very simple. I mean, I don't know why people try to avoid it. It's the truth of it. Kyle doesn't put people on the field that he doesn't trust or he doesn't know, because he just chooses not to. If you think about it, with all the injuries and how bad we looked, the man went and got Tevin Coleman off the couch. Now, mind you, Tevin Coleman played great in the Carolina game, but where was he in the Atlanta game? He gave the man 4 carries. It just didn't make sense. How do you go from putting this guy in the game and letting him get off and do all the things that he did, and then next week you just don't even care that he exists? I don't know, man. I really don't, and it's baffling to me. So that's another running back. So now you have Christian McCaffrey, Tevin Coleman, Jeff Wilson Jr., Marlon Mack, Jordan Mason, Ty Davis-Price. You have all of these running backs, and that doesn't include Juice, because Juice is a fullback. But you have all of these guys. Somebody's going to get cut. Somebody's going to wind up on the practice squad. All these things. I am not giving Kyle credit and saying that he's playing chess, not checkers, and all that stuff, because I'm sorry, over the years, you've been here 5 years. You have 2 winning seasons. And yes, the other seasons were riddled with injuries and whatnot, but either way, every team has injuries every single year, and you must find a way to work through it. You have to have the depth to be able to get over things. Now, I did see that Jason Verrett is not going to be activated for this game. I didn't think he was. I didn't think he was ready anyway. You'll probably see Jason Verrett either versus the Rams or the Chargers, one of the two. I don't know which, but I think that's probably the time frame, because I did see him practice, and it does look like that knee is still bothering him. And if it is, don't put him on the field to go out there and get shitted on for him to just destroy his confidence. The man already has a hard enough time trying to stay healthy and be able to get on the field. You don't want him to get on the field, have his confidence destroyed, and then not want to get back on the field. So J.R. Meadows says McCaffrey should make Jimmy G better. And yes, he definitely should. He should make his life a lot easier. The dink and dunk type stuff that you like with Christian McCaffrey is there, because we have the things to be able to do so. For this game, let's take a look really quickly at the injury report before we get into everything. So this is a final injury report as of yesterday for these Kansas City Chiefs. Rashad Fenton, a cornerback, is a hamstring. He did not practice. He is out. Mike Dana, defensive end, did not practice. He is questionable. He didn't practice on Wednesday. He practiced Thursday, and he was limited in practice Thursday and Friday. And then Joe Tooney, the guard, with the ankle, he didn't practice Wednesday. He was limited in practice Thursday, full practice on Friday. And and he is questionable as well. So Trey Smith, Mecole Hardman, both of them were full practice all week, so they most likely will play. L'Jarius Sneed, a cornerback for them, full practice all week. He most likely will play. Brian Cook, a safety, he had a concussion. He was limited in practice on Wednesday. He had full practice Thursday and Friday. And then Harrison Butker, the kicker, he was full practice all week long, so he most likely will play. So the only person out for them is Rashad Fenton. You flip over to the 49ers. Eric Armstead is out with the plantar fasciitis in the foot. Charvarius Ward was limited in practice on Friday. He is questionable. Talanoa Hufanga with the concussion protocol was limited in practice on Friday. He is questionable. They do have CMC listed here, but it says travel and that he was limited in practice on Friday, which makes a ton of sense because at the end of the day, I mean, like he got traded that same day. It's not like he was going to be able to do whatever he was going to do. So next thing is Jimmy Ward was limited in practice all week with his hand. They do expect him to play. He possibly could play with the club on his hand so it doesn't hinder the hand from continually healing the way that it needs to. Mike McGlinchey didn't practice on Wednesday. Limited practice on Thursday, full practice on Friday. Trent Williams, limited practice on Wednesday and Thursday, full practice on Friday. Tyler Croft, full practice all week. Charlie Warner, full practice all week. Samson Ebukam did not practice on Wednesday, limited practice on Thursday, and full practice on Friday. Nick Bosa, groin, he was limited in practice on Wednesday and Thursday, full practice on Friday. Drake Jackson had a knee issue. He was limited in practice on Wednesday and Thursday, full practice on Friday. And Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, full practice all week long. So DFF is most likely going to be there. And you're going to see a few people come back. And I'll say that honestly because that's the case. And that's definitely what's going on here. Sorry, I got to close these blinds because I like the lighting. But then again, I have to be very mindful of such. So definitely – those are some of the things that are going to happen, and these are the things that will be taken care of. And I got to keep this lighting correct because for some ungodly reason, there we go. That's better. But definitely we will have a lot of those guys back. What's going on, Rocky Mountain Razorback? I do expect Charvarius Ward to be out there playing. I do expect Trent Williams to be out there playing. I do expect Nick Bosa possibly to be out there playing. Me, honestly, I would sit Nick Bosa and just be very mindful with that groin pull. I know he's on grass and you won't have to worry about the turf and things of that nature, but it's definitely very, very hard on your body when you have a groin pull. So we'll see what happens. Sorry, I had to get a sip of water. Got to stay hydrated, man. So the next thing on the docket is going to be the game. So that was the injury report. It's definitely deep, which is very unfortunate, but this is nothing new that happens to us every single year. So 49ers in Chiefs, man, did we have a shitty game last week. Going to the Mercedes-Benz Dome thinking we got a simple win. Just contain Mariota, don't allow him to run and let the offense score another 30 as we did the week before in Carolina. Boy, was I wrong. The first half, we got down 14-0. One of those was due to a JWJ fumble. Scoop and score by the Falcons defense. The other an opening drive touchdown. The first defense has allowed all season long, with that being the first points we had allowed, and the second in the first half of all year. We came back in the first half, scoring 2 TDs in the second quarter, and then we didn't score again for the rest of the game. The Falcons scored again before the half to go up 21-14. The defense gave up one more TD to the Falcons in the second half and shut them down with about a little over 8 minutes to play in the third quarter. From there, the defense was lights out, but the offense disappeared. We couldn't get anything going, and simply put, we sucked in the second half. We actually had a drive that lasted 8 minutes in the fourth quarter as if we were winning and up by 2 scores instead of down by 2 scores. No sense of urgency from the offense, no sense of urgency by the head coach. On that drive alone, we had several penalties. It ended with turnover on down. So 8 minutes wasted, no sense of urgency by the team or head coach. In this game, Jimmy had 2 passes thrown that should have been called by Ray McLeod and Charlie Warner. They took more deep shots, but out of all of them, only 2 were accurate. Both of his interceptions were his fault. Triple covers to Debo and another high pass to Debo went right off his fingertips. So while everyone else is giving Jimmy a pass, I am not. The second half, he looked like garbage. Just when I was being nice to him, he reminds me why I can't stand him. But that's last week. This is a new week, and we are on to the Chiefs. We came home from our stay at the Greenbrier, so we didn't have to travel like crazy. We looked to limit the wear and tear on our team in general, and unfortunately, due to the turf, that didn't help much. Ebicom was in and out of the Falcons game. We lost E-Man for the year with the torn ACL. Mooney got hurt and is expected to play. A lot of injuries took place on that damn turf in Carolina. I don't even want to think about any more injuries. We have a hockey staff as our medical staff. Makes no sense. If there's anything we are top 10 in consistently, it's injuries since John and Kyle got here, along with the fact that they add players to the team with injury history doesn't help. We actually set a record in 2020 for the most cap space on IR, which is nothing to be proud of. It's all bad in Niner World right now. Sorry, I'm not as upbeat and optimistic as everyone else. I just don't see us beating the Chiefs with a bruised and beaten up team. With that being said, let's look into the offense and defense and see what we have to work with. For Kansas City, we know the usual suspects. Mahomes and Kelsey have connected for 7 of 7. Mahomes' 17 touchdowns this year. The others are spread amongst Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jerick McKinnon, Watson, and another tight end named Jody Fortson has 2. So as usual, Mahomes targets mostly Kelsey in the passing game, but definitely will spread the ball around to whoever is open. The man has thrown 7 TDs, has thrown TDs to 7 different players. So once again, you're open, he'll find you. Running game isn't crazy, but the one thing the runners for the Chiefs have in common is they are all averaging over 4 yards per carry. Even with that, Jeff Wilson Jr. himself has almost doubled their production in yardage on his own with 400 yards and 4 TDs by himself. The Chiefs have 4 TDs rushing as a team. So while the 49ers gave up 168 yards rushing last week, that was by committee, and it included Mariota. You take away his 50 yards, and we only gave up 118 and 1 rushing TD. With that being said, our pass defense will have to be on top of our game facing Mahomes at home. Currently, the series between the Chiefs and the Niners is tied at 7 apiece. Currently, they have beaten us the last 3 times we have played, including Super Bowl preseason game, and I forget the other game, but I know we lost. Looking into things from a defensive standpoint, we have a few new guys. The Chiefs still have Frank Clark along with Dunlap and Chris Jones as far as the D-line is concerned. Currently, L'Jarius Sneed is the team's leading sack guy with 3. Jones and Bolton are tied with 5 tackles for a loss apiece. Currently, Jalen Watson is the only defensive back with an interception this season, and he took it to the house for a TD. He's also tied with Juan Thornhill for the most passes defense on their squad at 4. Kansas City has lost by 3 and 4 points respectively, and their close wins have come when facing divisional opponents like the Raiders and the Chargers. If we want to win this game, we should be watching those teams, watching what those teams did and use it as a blueprint to stop Mahomes. They see him twice a year, so it only makes sense to use that to our advantage. With all that info I just gave you, let's now flip to the 49er side of the ball and see what we got. So really quickly before we go, the other game is when Jimmy had the torn ACL. You are correct. Thank you for that, Rocky Mountain Razorback, when he thought he was a fucking running back. Y'all give me just a second. I'm going to hit this light over here, man, just so I have a little bit more. I think that'll help a little bit. Yeah, it will. It will. It helped a little bit. Not over the top, but it helped a little bit. So all good. But when you flip to the other side of the ball, with all the injuries that the 49ers have, man, this is going to be really, really hard to overcome. So I just listed our injury report. We do anticipate a lot of these guys to be back and to be playing and to be ready and all of that good stuff. So it's definitely going to be a situation where we are definitely trying to make sure that we do get any and everything that we can out of the guys that we do have on the field. Yeah, Rocky Mountain Razorback says that that fool thought he was Cam Newton in that game. Yes, he I don't know what he was thinking with a spin move, but at the end of the day, bro, you should have just tucked it in and went to the sidelines. So the number one thing for us as far as offense goes is to flip the situation. So last week we threw the ball 41 times. This week we need to run the ball 41 times. Here's the biggest issue. Whenever Jimmy has to throw more than 30 times in a game, high probability of us losing. Whenever we get down 14-0, high probability of us losing. All of these things known, and Kyle still threw the ball like Jimmy Garoppolo was fucking Aaron Rodgers. Like, it just didn't make sense. Yes, there were a couple passes that did need to be caught. I stated what those were, but anything else, he doesn't. He has like the worst percentage. His QBR is trash. Anything over 15 yards is just, it's a no-go for Jimmy Garoppolo. Just don't do it. Get the ball to the guys, put it on them, and allow them to do what they do. Let the Yak Bros be the Yak Bros. I'm comfortable with that. I'm okay with that. I don't have any issue with that. Like, that's cool for me. But at the end of the day, it's a situation where sometimes Jimmy either throws high, he throws low, he throws behind. But it's rare that you see him put the ball on a receiver the way that he should. Sports Live in the ATL was good, man. I met this guy on my last stream for, the post game for the Atlanta Falcons. This is a really cool dude. We had a very good interaction. I'm okay with him coming and hanging out, man. I appreciate him. He said, thank you for taking for McCaffrey from the Panthers. I appreciate that. I've been busy, but I'm peeking in, Matthew, man. Hey, love and respect to you too, bro. And you're more than welcome, man. We appreciate Christian McCaffrey hanging out with us in San Fran rather than being over there bothering y'all in division. So at the end of the day, for me, when you look at things from an offensive standpoint, just run the ball, man. It mix it up, shift it around. Give different people a chance. If you feel like Christian McCaffrey isn't good for this game, fuck it. Go with JWJ and Tevin Coleman again. Mix them in and out. If TC gets the hot hand, let him stay. If JWJ gets the hot hand, let him stay. It's perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? He said, have you checked my stuff out yet? I'm streaming the game Sunday, and I did the Hawks yesterday. I will check it out. I didn't get around to it. I had a lot going on this week, but I definitely will check you out, my guy. Make sure we get you up, get the mics up, get your streams up, bro, and continue to help grow the channel. I will definitely go in and check you out. Usually at the gym, I like listening to podcasts because it just gets me through my workout. And it doesn't get me through the struggles that I have because I ain't as strong as I used to be. When you get older, stuff don't get better, it get worse. But we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, yes, I am a diehard Chicago Bulls fan, sir. Diehard Bulls fan. Yes. Love my Bulls. I know we're 1-1 right now, but that's okay. We only lost by 2 points. As long as we stay competitive, that's all that matters for me. I would love to have Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball out there, but I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. I know Lonzo, they say they expect him not to even play this year. So he's starting to look like a waste of talent. And I know Zach LaVine is out, but he'll be back eventually. LaVine has moments where he's not playing for a couple games and he just magically shows up. So I'm not too worried about it. It's definitely, a different situation with the Bulls. But hey, DeMar's been holding us down, so I'm not really worried, man. We look good. We look all right. But at the end of the day, he says run the ball, take time off the clock. Keeps your defense fresh and just beats down the other team. That is definitely full. So I'll say this, as far as for us on offense, run the ball, control the clock. That's the way you beat Patrick Mahomes. If he can't get on the field, he can't make that Mahomes magic happen. And that's what we have to do. We have to control that. And once we control that, we will be fine. If there's anything else that we need to do as far as offense, it's just – Jimmy, don't fuck it up, man. That's all we're asking. I'm not going to have a big, deep game plan for the offense. It's real simple. Don't fuck it up. Hit the guys that you know you need to hit. Hit the Ayuks, hit the Debos, hit the George Kittles. And the other thing, Kyle Shanahan, don't put Jimmy in situations you know he ain't supposed to be in. You know the strengths and weaknesses of your quarterback. Be smart. Don't put him in a situation where he has to throw another 41 times. You are not about to have Jimmy Garoppolo outduel Patrick Mahomes in a throwing battle. It's not going to happen. Patrick Mahomes is going to murder him, and we're going to lose the game. Don't do that. You want to win this game? Run the ball, limit Jimmy's passes, keep him under 15 yards, keep him over the middle. It's that simple. Don't try to turn Jimmy Garoppolo into something he's not. You know what happened with Colin Kaepernick? He had 2 great seasons. He looked fucking fantastic. And then Jed York started bitching to Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh started bitching to Jed York. And what did Harbaugh do? He fucked us. He tried to turn Colin Kaepernick into a under the center, reading the defense pocket quarterback. And we went 8-8. Now, mind you, Jim Harbaugh's never had a losing season with the 49ers. But at the end of the day, we could have kept the ball rolling and kept things going the same way that they were, because they're doing it over there in Baltimore. Greg Roman is the offensive coordinator, and we wouldn't have had these problems. But you go out there and, you try to turn him into something he's not, you're going to get negative results. And that's the thing. You try to turn Jimmy into a thrower of the football by having him throw 41 times, not going to work. Jimmy Garoppolo is not that guy. So don't put him in situations where he's not going to succeed. Put him in situations where he will. Get him his passes over the middle. Get him his little dink and dunk stuff. Get those bubble screens. Get those jet sweeps. The other thing is, you have more than enough running backs. Kyle Debo does not need to be in the backfield. And when he is in the backfield, use him as a decoy more often so teams stop keying in on it. Because it's not going to make any sense at all. If you're going to put him back there, everybody knows he's getting the ball, and then they swarm to him, and next thing you know, he doesn't have any yardage. They know he's getting the ball. They stop it. This is not something that has been working all year long. Debo does not look fucking fantastic when it comes to that. Currently, right now, I'm going to take a look at it because he's our second leading rusher with 136 yards. He is averaging 5.9 yards per carry, and he does have 1 touchdown. But the issue is there are times where he has those explosive moments to lead to that 5.9 yards to carry. So it's not a situation where he's consistently just chucking away and doing that bit by bit. Just be more mindful with Debo. Plus, you want to keep him healthy to be a receiver. That's his main job. I think I just named 6 running backs earlier in the show. There's no reason that we need to be able to do that we need to continue to use Debo in the backfield when we have a plethora of running backs to choose from. I'm just saying it's better if you go ahead and you find a way to be able to use him more constructively. Get him on those little bubble screens, get him on those jet sweeps, but consistently using him in the backfield, especially when everybody knows that's where the ball is going, it doesn't always work. That was evidenced last week because we looked really, really bad. So offensively, let Jimmy do the things that Jimmy does. Stop putting him in situations he ain't supposed to be in. I don't want to get into a shootout with Patrick Mahomes because that's a guaranteed loss. I already feel like we're going to lose this game because of all the injuries and the things that we have going on. Whoever plays opposite Mooney, we're going to have to hope and pray that they didn't figure it out because Sam Womack looked bad last week. Deommodore Lenoir, he gives up a ton of yardage. He hasn't allowed a touchdown, but he does give up a lot of yardage. So that's a negative thing. So we have to just be mindful of those things when it comes to the offense. Do the things that get us to the wins that we have, that got us to the record that we've had all year long. It just makes more sense. So those are our keys on offense. Run the ball. Don't put Jimmy in situations he ain't supposed to be in, and control the clock. And when you are down, for the life of me, if you get down again, Kyle, and your team starts to lollygag and they want to be real slow and take their time, call a fucking timeout and rip them a brand new asshole, remind them of the score, and tell them to get the fuck back out there and get their shit together. If somebody like Jake Brendel, because he caused a ton of penalties for us last week, if Jake Brendel was fucking up, rip him a new one. Stop being so nice. You stood. The main issue that I have with last week is Kyle stood there and watched this happen and did nothing. I don't care if you're calling plays and all these things, and this guy was open and that guy was open. You have to have more sense of urgency as a head coach. You have to take control. You had timeouts. You could call that and say, hey, man, look, we got enough time to score 2 touchdowns. Our defense has done enough to make sure that we can get back into this game. We need to reward them by scoring. We need to be able to make this happen. I don't care if we got to get down there in 1 minute and score 3 and chip away at this lead bit by bit, little by little. We got to find a way to get into this game because we cannot keep walking down the field slow. Like this ain't like we're up. We are down. We are losing. I know you guys see that on the goddamn scoreboard. So what the fuck are we doing? Let's have a sense of urgency. Let's move the fucking ball. Like those are things that a great head coach does. So that's why when people go, well, Kai's playing, chess, not checkers, all this stuff. When I see stuff like that, that don't tell me that's chess. That tells me that's checkers. And that tells me that's 5-year-old checkers. Where you trying to jump 8 million times because you think you can. And you don't really know the game. And it's not to say that Kyle is not a good head coach, but he's not great. I'm not going to give him that moniker. And I'm not going to say that he is. Strictly based on the fact of what I have seen on too many different occasions where he watches the game get away from him and does nothing about it. He doesn't have the killer instinct when you have to be on that field and you need to put your foot on the guy's throat and say, you know what? I'm going to make you submit to my will. I'm going to beat you and beat you badly. I'm going to leave you bloodied and battered. I don't want you to, have any moment where you think you're going to win this fight. I'm going to whoop your ass in ways you can't imagine. And when you get up, I'm going to whoop your ass some more. And when you're down, I might just kick you in the back of the head just for good measure. Like Kyle doesn't have that, man, and I wish he did. If Kyle had a little Bill Belichick in him, believe me, we would have had a Super Bowl. Might have even had 2. But he, for some reason, when I watch, he lacks that killer instinct. A lot of people will give him credit. A lot of people will like to go ahead and be on his side. I am telling you from what I've seen, there's a lot of things that are being said that are not correct. And if you don't believe me, just look at the game last week with Atlanta. I'm sorry. You let an 8-minute drive go by and you didn't say shit. You didn't do anything. You just kept calling plays. The fuck? No. A good head coach calls a timeout, gets his team in line, make sure he rips everybody a brand new asshole who needs one, and then moves forward. The team will respect you more if you get in their ass and instead of letting them go out and do that. Now, I know a couple years ago we had a bunch of soft motherfuckers come out. We don't need to be yelled at. We can just talk to each other. Things will get better. Okay, I'm sorry, man. I don't believe that. Jimmy Ward called a team meeting after that, a players only meeting, and they went ahead. And I guarantee you there was some people getting into people's ass about that. I guarantee you they had some people yelling and screaming in there. It's not a situation where you yell and do that and you can't be held accountable on your shit. It's everyone holding everyone accountable and making sure that you definitely go out and you do your job. If I'm out there and I'm screaming and yelling at you and you come back at me with things that I need to fix, thank you. I will get on top of that. I will make that right. In the same vein, I need you to do this better. I need you to do that better. I need you to be on your P's and Q's better. You got beat on this route. I saw that. Fix that shit. Don't let it happen again. Like, it's simple. Even if you're not screaming or yelling, it's a stern voice, but it's just letting people know you mean motherfucking business. And that's what you have to do as a coach, and your team will respect you. So I'm going to get to these comments in just a second, but I got to stop real quick. Got to pay some bills. My man Zach is going to tell y'all about mybookie.ag.
What's going on, guys? Zach here from 49ers Hive, and I just wanted to take a second to thank today's sponsor, MyBookie. You know football, and you pick winners every single weekend, so why not get paid for them at MyBookie? You could bet single game spreads, money lines, or parlay multiple together to increase your payouts. The feeling on Sunday when a 3, 4, 5, 6 game parlay hits is unmatched. There are low contest entry fees and over $500,000 to be won, so make it so you don't have to be a pro gambler to have some fun. Getting started is super simple. All you got to do is go to mybookie.ag and use our promo code HIVE, as in 49ers Hive, on your first deposit to secure a double deposit bonus. You deposit $50, they'll match you $50. You deposit $100, they'll match you $100, all the way up to $1,000. Take advantage of our double deposit bonus. It's right here on the screen. mybookie.ag, promo code HIVE, as in 49ers Hive. Take advantage now, guys, and make this your winning season exclusively at MyBookie.
Thank you, Zach, for that definite ad read really quick. We always got to make sure we take care of things, man. You know, MyBookie is sponsoring us, so we got to be very, very cool about it. So going back to some of the comments real quick, Sports Live in the ATL says the Bulls, cool. Have a good stream. Good luck Sunday. Practice squad Hawks need to get Joe Crowder. Yeah. They do. You know, Atlanta's got some work to do. He says the Chiefs look beatable. The Bills show that. They did. They beat them. Kyle needs to step up. He has no more excuses. That's facts. 49ers fans will love McCaffrey. He gets yards after the catch. Will he be playing versus the Chiefs? I don't think so. He's got to get acclimated to the system and to the language, and it's a lot, man. Kyle has some plays he calls where it sounds like you're reading a fucking essay. So you got to figure out in all that shit, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing again? So I don't think he'll play on Sunday. If he does, hey, it's dope. Joel, how you doing, brother? I hope everything is good with you. Hope you are recovering well. Peace and blessings to you throughout that journey, man. Everyone out there, keep your prayers up for Joel. That's my dog. Rocky Mountain Razorback was saying that was Jed's dumbass. Sports Live at ATL says, I just don't understand why Kyle plays the fourth quarter like the first half. If he wants to throw and be creative and score, great. When you get that lead late in the game, it's win, not style, win the game. Facts. Rocky Mountain Razorback says that tells me he's playing fucking goldfish. When I was talking about Kyle not playing chess and checkers, stomp him out. Exactly. And he says we're going to war. Rocky Mountain Razorback also says these boys make so much goddamn money, bro. If I could get yelled at my job where I make like 1% of what they make, 1% of what they make, then so can they. Yeah, that's true. If I have to get talked to about the shit that I do in my job, they should be able to do the same. And man, it's definitely a situation. So we're going to flip over to the defensive side of the ball. So on defense, it's very simple, man. The situation is contain Kelce. If you contain Travis Kelce, if you can force Patrick Mahomes to make his run game the way that they have to try to win this game is easily winnable. We control the clock. And the number one thing you got to do is stop Travis Kelce, stop Juju Smith-Schuster, stop Mecole Hardman. Now, yes, I did state earlier that he has thrown TDs to 7 different receivers. So, yes, that is a really, really big thing. And, yes, that means he spreads the ball around. If you're open, he's going to find you. But the thing is, make sure that you study what the Bills did, what the Chargers did, what the Raiders did. All of these guys have figured a blueprint out to stop Patrick Mahomes, and it worked. So if you watch that, implement that into your system, you'll be fine. The next thing is we're playing Patrick Mahomes. Same thing with Marcus Mariota. Spy him. You need to have someone watch Mahomes. He can run. He is not a run-first quarterback. He is definitely a throw-first quarterback. He does not look to run before anything. He would love to throw the ball. Why? Because he knows that's where he makes his money, and I'm okay with that. But the thing is, when he does run, you need somebody to make sure that they are there taking care of him. Patrick Mahomes no longer has Tyreek Hill, so he does not have the luxury of chucking the ball up in the at the middle of the field and knowing Tyreek Hill with the speed and athleticism is going to go find it. So that's a nice thing. You don't have to worry about that. But in that same vein, you still got to be mindful of some of the throws that he makes. Mecole Hardman is still there. He's very fast. Juju Smith-Schuster, you can catch him. He ain't no world beater when he runs. He's pretty slow. And same thing for Travis Kelce. In the red zone, for the life of me, if I see this shit again, I swear to God, I'm going to break my fucking television. Do not play off these receivers in the damn red zone. You know why Kyle Pitts got a touchdown last week? Because we didn't even jam him. Sam Womack wasn't even in his face. And Sam Womack is 5'9", 5'10" at best. And Kyle Pitts, I believe, is like 6'4". So you're already giving up the height. and you're going to give the space up to allow him to run an easy slant and get hit with a touchdown? No. The art of jamming has died in the league. Why? I do not know, and I think it's because the league has become so offense. When the penalties go, it's more offense, man. It's a lot of offense. Thank you, Sports Live and ATL, man. Appreciate it. Good luck. Thanks for the good luck, and good luck to you and the rest of your season, brother. I would say, if anything, spy Travis Kelce hard in the red zone. Why? He is the guy Mahomes looks for when he gets into that spot, and you know he does. So if you know that, spy him. Make sure that you have someone that's on him. Jam him at the line. If you throw that receiver off for just 1 second, even if you're running with him and all you're doing is sticking your butt out just a little bit so you can be hip with this person, it throws them off of their actual route. And it doesn't allow them the proper timing to be able to let Patrick Mahomes complete the pass. There are a variety of things you can do to stop these receivers, but it seems like nobody wants to do them. And I hate the fact that we played 5 and 10 yards off motherfuckers. That's an easy way for you to get beat, and you have to do that. So my thing is, be mindful of your blitzes. We did get 2 sacks last week on Mariota. We didn't allow any. So from a defensive standpoint, just be smart about it. Mind your P's and Q's. Don't over pursue Patrick Mahomes because he can't get away. And, at the same time, when you're in the red zone, find Travis Kelce, and I don't care what he's doing. Put 3 people on the motherfucker if you have to. You must contain him in that red zone or he will kill you every single time. It has been proven week in, week out, year in and year out that Travis Kelce is the red zone target. That's just how it works. And we know this. So if we know this, DeMeco Ryans, please, for the life of me, do not have these goddamn defensive backs playing off. You know what I'm saying? The DB's coach, I forgot what his name is, teach these defensive backs some proper jamming techniques. 1 second that you throw him off that route is 1 extra second for defensive line to get home. Sometimes it's just that. But if you ain't playing, if you're not on them and they on the 2-3 yard line, but you playing 6 yards off, what? It's easy to score a touchdown. I'm going to look dead at you, put my hand up, and just be like, fuck it. He ain't playing up on me, throw me the ball. I'll get it. Especially if you're playing somebody, if you're 6'4" and somebody's 5'9", you really think it's hard to moss somebody that short? I doubt it highly. I don't care how scrappy of a player you are. When you give up that kind of height advantage and you don't press that person, it's easy to score a touchdown on you. Easy. It's not going to make a difference. So that's going to be the number one thing. When you get into the red zone, find Travis Kelce, make his life a living hell. Jam him. I don't care if you have 3 or 4 guys covering him. Make sure that you focus on him in that red zone to take away that threat. When it comes to the passing game in general, be on your P's and Q's. If you got to get up and play bump and run on some dudes, play bump and run, man. Shit, that's all it takes. But this fucking 10 and 12 yards off motherfuckers, that shit ain't about to work against Patrick Mahomes. He loves that dink and dunk shit. And he's got a cannon for an arm. So we have to be very mindful of anything that he throws deep. Be mindful of Mecole Hardman getting out there trying to take off and go and get that deep ball and get there because he's a really fast player. He ain't Tyreek Hill fast, but he's fast enough, goddammit. Juju Smith-Schuster, all you have to do is just contain him. You know what I'm saying? He may get away a little bit, but he ain't gonna boogie for no touchdown, man. He don't have that kind of speed. I know. I watched him when he was in Pittsburgh with Big Ben, and he wasn't that fast. He's not overly a speedy kind of guy like that. So just know and understand these things, and those are very simple keys to winning the game. Keep Travis Kelce locked down in that in that red zone, along with keeping Mecole Hardman from getting any deep shots. I'm not too worried about their run game because it doesn't necessarily exist. I know I stated they're all over 4 yards a carry. Here's the thing. You're not going to do that to the 49ers. Yes, we don't have Eric Armstead. Yes, we don't have Javon Kinlaw, and those are usually our run stuffers. I'll tell you right now, I think we're still going to be okay. I think we still have a way to be able to stop them and make sure that they don't run all over the ball. Couple of quick comments. David McNew says, I wouldn't be opposed to using Jimmy Ward as a linebacker in this game to spy Mahomes. I'm not opposed to that either. Honestly, I like Jimmy Ward on Travis Kelce. Stick to him like glue. If that motherfucker takes his shit, you need to be there spraying fucking air spray to make sure that you don't have to smell it. You know what I'm saying? Be everywhere with him. If he takes a piss, you need to be standing 10 feet away from the urinal to make sure that motherfucker done shook, and he washes his hands, and you get back out there and you stick to him like glue. Like, find a way to win. What's going on, Teresa Turner? She says, let's go Chiefs. Get the win. I'm not gonna lie. I do believe that the Chiefs are going to win this game. I don't believe that we're healthy enough, and I don't believe that we have the firepower to be we have the offensive firepower to beat them. But do we have the game plan to win? Are we going to be able to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field? I don't know, man. I truthfully don't. The last few times we played the Chiefs, we've lost, and we lost in the big one. That's the problem. So we have to find a way to be able to win. The keys to the game for the 49ers are very simple. Play sound defense. Start to play bump and run on these goddamn receivers. For the life of me, stop playing 30 and 50 yards off. And I know I'm exaggerating, but I hate that shit. I can't stand when somebody has 3rd and 1 and you playing 12 yards off the receiver. All I got to do is turn around and go, get my hands up. Ball's already there. Next thing, run the damn ball. Instead of throwing the ball 41 times, run it 41 times. You have enough running backs. Might as well use them to your advantage. The other thing, contain Travis Kelce. Will he get his catches? Will he possibly get a touchdown? Yes. But if you contain him and slow him down and make him as much of a non-factor as you possibly can, that helps. It forces Mahomes to go elsewhere. The other thing, contain Patrick Mahomes as well. Do not let him get outside that pocket and run for those first downs. If we get into those 3rd down situations, we need to be getting home as a defensive line. And the other thing is make sure that you have that back end cleared up. I'm not sure if Huff is going to be able to play in this game, but if Huff can't go and we've got Jimmy Ward out there with a club and Tayshaun Gibson out there doing his thing on the other side, I think we're going to be all right. Even if you got to throw Tarvarius Moore in there and you got to bring Jimmy Ward down as a nickelback to be able to, or as a linebacker, like Dave said, to cover Travis Kelce, do that. But those are going to be just the keys to the game. And that's how you're going to beat Patrick Mahomes. If you stop Travis Kelce, you contain him so he isn't able to run for the yardage to get these first downs on any 3rd down situations you can put him in, along with making sure that defensive backfield is as solid as possible, we'll be able to win this game. But if you want me to give you, I'm not going to give you a score prediction. I don't really know, but I can tell you right now, Chiefs ain't been on a 2-game losing streak in forever. And a lot of people say that Jimmy comes out better after a loss. Look, man, I got to believe it. I got to see it and believe it, man. I know that he does have a few games where, yes, he has come out better after a loss, but I'm not going to give Jimmy that kind of credit right now, especially with that shit performance that he put on the field last week. Like I said, a lot of people are giving him a pass. I'm not giving him a fucking pass. He looked like ass in the second half. After them 14 points that we scored, he just disappeared. And it baffles me when everybody decides that, like, we've literally been lulled into thinking that his mediocrity is greatness when it's still mediocrity. I don't understand how that works. But I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe, so to speak. So I will stick to me and stick to what I know. When he doesn't fuck it up, I'll say, hey, thank you for not fucking it up. But when he does, I'm going to hold him accountable. I hold everybody accountable. No one in this organization is above reproach. That's starting from Jed York all the way down to the fucking equipment manager. If you're fucking up, you need to be held accountable. And the continual, pass that we give we keep giving people annoys the shit out of me because it seems like everybody just wants to be friendly. And I know a lot of people don't necessarily like me and they'll be like, oh, well, you're always negative. You're this or that. No, I just hold people accountable and you don't like it. You don't like the fact that I tell you that every now and then the head coach is fucking shit up. He's not playing chess. He's playing fucking checkers or goldfish as Rocky Mountain Razorback stated. Or was it who said that? That was my other dog. No, that was Rocky Mountain Razorback. Yeah. So it just – these are things that happen. I don't believe that we win this game. I do believe that we go home and take an L. Hopefully it's a hard-fought game and we see some better things from this offense. The defense – for me, the defense, I ain't got nothing to say. The defense do their job, man. You can't expect them to go out every week and just hang zeros on the opposing squad and stop them. And then when we turn around as an offense, give them shit in return. That's not okay. You have to score in the second half. You must continue to score throughout the game. You can't let your defense go out there and get stops and then watch them go back on the field within 5 to 10 minutes because you couldn't, within a few minutes because you couldn't stop the other team, and they're back out there. They're tired. They're gassed. And then when they give up a touchdown, they got to go to the podium and sit there and take responsibility for some shit that's really not their fault. I don't care what nobody says. Fred Warner's facial expression that I had a couple weeks ago, man, on my show was priceless. The dude, his facial expression said it all. I'm tired of whooping everybody's ass and getting nothing in return from my offense. You've got to be better. You've got to be smarter. You've got to play harder. You've got to play faster. How do we win? Run the damn ball. Run the ball. Set up the play action pass. Give Jimmy little dink and dunk shit. Give him small things that he can be able to do. But don't put the game on his back. Jimmy is not a world beater. He is not about to come in and win you many games like that. It's just not who he is. Know that, understand it, live with it, and stop trying to turn him into something he's not. I don't ever want to see another game this year where Jimmy Garoppolo throws the ball more than 30 times. I don't even want to see him throw more than 20. And I really don't care about his stats. As long as we get in a W, I could give two shits. A win is a win. No matter how you get it, whether you win by 1 or you win by 50, it's still a win. And all of that, you're playing a beat-up team. And look, man, you got to play who's on the motherfucking schedule and who's on the field that day. I can't control the fact of everybody being healthy and not being healthy. That is not something I can do. So you want to discount my win because I didn't play somebody at full strength? Oh, well, I still got a W. You still got an L. At the end of the day, that's how it works. I'm going to get out of here, get into the gym, get myself right, get going, and start the weekend off with a bang. Let's pray that we can get this win tomorrow. I don't believe we do. I am saying that the 49ers will lose this game. How much by, I don't know, but a lot of people have faith that we can win. I am sorry. I am going to look at this and say, you know what? We're going to have to take this L, unfortunately, man. This is not a team that looks overly fantastic, and we do have a lot to work on. We do have a lot of things to be able to grow with. And if CMC doesn't play this week, he most likely will play next week. So that'll be great. But thank you so much for everybody hanging out with me. Appreciate y'all taking looks like we're almost about an hour of the day to be able to come and chill with your boy. Go Niners. And with those keys to the game that I delivered to you, we should be able to win. Do I think we'll win? Not at all. But either way, I'm still a Niner fan. I'm still going to remain faithful no matter what. And let's hope that CMC is a welcome and great addition to this team, and he can help us get a couple of W's. And at the same time, I know it'll be fun for him to be on a winning squad because he's been with Carolina and they've done much of nothing. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm out this joint. Peace and blessings to everybody. Have a great